coming up today on Man 360.
True. He says, I'll carry your burdens. It's like, well, let's give that a shot. And it does. It's a relief.
And say, good morning. How are you doing today? You will freak them out because they don't get that enough.
All that and more right here on Man 360. Welcome to Man 360. I'm your host, Brian. I know you're going to enjoy today's program. We'll start things off with Kevin Burke, the host of E13 that airs on CTN. Kevin and I talk about his program and how they're helping people work through pain from the past and then mentally and literally blowing up those former hurts. It's a unique and fun way to process past pain with lots of things blowing up and all kinds of weaponry. So basically, something perfect for you, our viewers. In our Dad Moment segment, Adonis Lenzy will share some godly advice about helping your kids communicate well. Teens today seem to have issues communicating not only with the general public, but also with each other, and Adonis shares some great points to consider. Then in our technology segment, I grab my phone and show you 3 of my favorite apps, one for fun, one for productivity, and one to help you navigate the great outdoors. And speaking of the outdoors, we have a segment today to give you a small taste of a trip we took to Zion National Park in Utah. Yolanda and I did a couple of stunning hikes that would be great for the whole family. You know, I always like getting out in the outdoors, and this national park is simply incredible for its beauty and history. I'm glad you're here. Let's get started. Welcome to Man 360. Kevin Burke, thank you for being in the program.
Well, thank you for having me.
Yes, sir. So I know you do a program here that plays on CTN.
Yes.
Before we talk about that, I want to just talk about you and just some of the things that you feel like God has walked you through and shown you in life in your walk with Him. We were talking about some interesting things about finances and some of those things. You just share.
Yeah. God's carried me through a lot. And I've grew up in the church, different types of church, Baptist and Methodist sometimes, and Church of Christ. And I always felt like I had a relationship with God. And I believe in Jesus and my Savior. Mm-hmm. But as I got older and going through school and everything I was trying to do it on my own. And I would talk to God, but kind of like, hey God, how about we do this? And it wouldn't be anything.
Come follow me.
Yeah.
Hey, over here. Whistling at him. Kevin whistling at the Lord.
Yes. So I felt like I had a good personal relationship with the Lord, but I wasn't in the Bible. I wasn't in the Read, and didn't fully commit myself. And there was a point where I did hit rock bottom.
Yeah.
I had an affair, lost my family, lost my house, went through bankruptcy, and that's when it was just rock bottom. And it was all my mistakes. It's the stuff I did. Yeah. I chose. I have free will, and I chose to do those things. Mm-hmm. And when I turned over to Christ, things started happening.
Yeah.
Slowly. It wasn't like overnight. It took a while, but they began happening.
That's awesome. And
it put me in a position to do
what you're doing now.
What I'm doing now,
yeah.
And things for God. I want to give back to the Lord. Now I started off trying to be, hey, I'm retired and, at this age, and I'm going to sit back and do nothing, watch the sunset and the beaches and stuff. And that lasted about 2 months.
Till Christy
started.
Till your wife.
Till Christy was she's always wanted me to join Choose Different Media, which is her group.
Yep.
And I was always listening to her podcast, like, oh, that's great work. She does really good. But when I quit my job, retired.
Yeah.
I was able to sit back and listen to her podcast that she does. Mm-hmm. Everyone Has a Voice. And it's incredible. She does a fantastic job.
Yeah.
She would interview these different people that would, porn addictions or alcohol or drugs. She's done all types of, anything that has to do with overcomers.
Yeah.
Finances.
Yeah.
And I got to listen to that, and it's like, this is really good stuff.
Yeah.
I'm visual.
Right.
I got to see it I got to actually see it in a hands-on type thing.
Yeah.
So I got to talking to her. I was like, why can't we if you want me to come out of retirement?
Yeah.
Here's
the deal.
I was going crazy too. It sounds great until you sit there for a little while and you have nothing to do.
Right.
And we started putting our minds together and started thinking about, what if we made these visual? Mm-hmm. The idea between our show, E13, was to turn negative memories, reprogram our minds into negative memories into positive God moments, visual God moments. for example, when we were doing this, when the show, we would, if there are alcohol or porn addictions or whatever, we find a moment from the interview from her podcast. We find those moments to where they clicked in their head, just like I did, just like mine.
Yeah.
I was on the floor, on a concrete floor, you know.
You got to remember those times, right?
Yeah.
Because if you don't remember those times, then you don't realize how far God's brought you from.
Oh, absolutely.
And you know the passion for what you guys do now is where you knew there needed to be a point of being, I can't do it anymore.
Right.
I can't, that's it.
You give up.
You're on the concrete floor. You're on those things, and I think sometimes we try to be like, we're going to forget that, but you've got to remember that and say, this is where I've moved from. This is where God's brought me.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm just so tired. And if you just give it, it's such a relief to give everything up to the Lord.
It is.
It's just a burden taken.
It's so great.
It's serious. I mean, it's true. He says, I'll carry your burdens. It's like, well, let's give that a shot. And it does. It's a relief.
That's so great.
Yeah.
Well, I want to talk a little bit more about the program, but I wanted to see a clip and show everyone a clip real quick of the program and just show them what Lit 86 is all about. So let's check this out.
All right.
Well, I think that I need to ask Yolanda to blow more stuff up on the program. I think that needs to be something Brian wants to do.
Well, we do a lot of that.
Well, it sounds good.
It doesn't have to be related to sin either.
No, you're just like, what are you doing? Just cause. Why does Jesus love you? Just cause. What are you blowing this stuff up for? Just cause.
I go to Chrissy's closet. Just cause.
So you have an interview piece of the program, and then I noticed that you have the guys that are coming together. Kind of share a little bit about that. You guys are kind of brainstorming in the Lit 86, basement or whatever it is down with your glass wall. Share a little bit about what you do there, and then transition with the program.
Okay, so the guest that we have, it starts off with Chrissy. She's re-interviewing past former podcast.
So that's the number, the interview people. That's that podcast guests. Number that you put on the screen to say this is the podcast that was from Chrissy's show.
Yes, and so all she does on the Lit 86 show on the set, she just does a brief overview of what their past sin or what they overcame. And then what we do is we listen as a team. Me and the Lit 86 team, we'll sit back and listen, and we're like, and we sometimes we'll talk to the guests like, what is it that you would like to get rid of, and just get rid of it, erase my memory, and just reprogram it, like it's obliterated. That's how I function a lot. Is just like I've got to see things just wiped out, see the power of God. You can see, you can feel it. But I've got to see it. And that's what we did with a lot of the guests.
And you had another lady too that was into pills and cocaine and all that kind of stuff, and she was saying, I've been free for a long time. I feel like I was free, but even doing that still felt therapeutic to me. It still felt like something that was and I just call them Bethel moments, right? It's like where you build something, you're like, or you blow something up, which I may ask Yolanda if we can incorporate that in Man 360 because it's so good. You got to blow stuff up.
That's right.
But you just take care of it. And you're like, this is my moment where I'm going to 86 this thing. I'm just going to take care of it and get rid of it. That's so great. So with the program and with Lit 86, what's the purpose and again passion behind? I know you shared a little bit about what you came out of and what you feel like God's moving you that way. But what do you feel like for the longer term future of Lit 86 that you want it to be and where you want it to, you were saying, you tease, but you're not teasing, you want it to be number one. You want people to see it.
Yeah, we want to consume the airways with some positive messages for men.
Right.
There's a lot of trash on TV. And unfortunately, there's nothing else to really watch.
That's right.
And, Chrissy and I like watching TV, but if you're watching something, they start dropping dirty words, F-bombs, or whatever, I'm uncomfortable. And I know I shouldn't be watching it. But sometimes it's like, well, there's nothing really else on. This is a really good show.
Or entertainment. We're like, well, they only said it a few times. It's entertainment. It's not really speaking to me, but it really is.
Yeah, it is.
Even what we're doing with Man 360.
You're feeding it in your mind. And subconscious, you're picking all that stuff up. And we decided one day to get off the couch and just do something for ourselves. And it's like, let's create something. That's when we started talking about the Lit 86. And just put our own shows out there that we enjoy watching. Hopefully others can learn from it. And our vision for the show is it continues every year. We put out more and more episodes to where she has hundreds of podcasts.
Yeah.
There's hundreds of and there's so many people hurting out there. And there's so many people that feel like they're stuck.
And that's what Jesus did, right? He met people at their stuck moment.
Yeah, and that's what we want to do. We want to say, you can do this.
Yeah.
I was there.
Yeah.
I was there on the floor, concrete floor crying, and I felt immobilized.
Yeah.
And then, but there is hope that you can do this.
Yep.
And once you get through that struggle, we want to give the examples. It can happen.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so, like I said, there's hundreds of podcasts we can do on this. We want to get more and more reinventive on it, and we're in the process of possibly doing some studies out of it, like courses.
That's great.
Off each individual person. They will help us go through the course, and then we can sit that on their website, and we just want to help.
And you mentioned something interesting too, as we just wrap this up, and Christy mentioned it as well before we got on camera, was it's like, go do something.
Yes.
Right? It's like you're like, I don't know what, it's like, listen, go see the need, right? That's what Jesus said. You see these needs, and you go take care of people. And I think, and you can see the passion that you have for what you're doing. So we just continue to pray that God just does amazing things with Lit 86. And we'll put all the information on man360.tv on our website.
That'd be great.
And direct people over to you guys also there's plenty of people that we can reach in this space, and we just want to partner together.
That's what we want to do. We just want to reach as many people as we can.
That's right. Kevin, thank you for being on the program.
Thank you so much, Brian.
Yes, sir.
Hey, Adonis Lenzy here. Being a dad, especially in today's society, one of the things I realized was that I've got to do a great job and a good job, a better job of teaching my kids that lost art of communication. You know what I mean by that? I remember one time walking by a group of young people that were standing on the sidewalk. I think I was entering into a building or something, and they were out there standing, and they were all on this device right here. Just their heads were buried into that. And I walked by them, and I said, "Hey guys, how you doing?" And nobody said anything. And so I stopped in my tracks. I said, "Hey, how you doing?" And they knew I wasn't going to go away. And so finally, one of them like, "We're good." And at first I thought, man, they're just rude, but they're not rude. They just don't know how to communicate, because all their communication is right here. And one of the things I teach my children that are they're 15 and 13, but I really go overboard when forcing them to communicate and have an adult conversation. I put them in scenarios and situations where they have to talk to adults. And you say, well, that's mean. No, that's not mean. That's very progressive in today's society, because we got to recapture that. Every time I hear a young person or bump into a young person that has an adult conversation with me, man, it's like that's a phenomenon. That's like, you don't see that a lot anymore. So I want my kids to understand that. So I put them in situations. If we're at the grocery store, somewhere out somewhere, if we're at the restaurant, we make them order, look the waitress or waiter in the eye and order their food, make good eye contact, and we grade them on that. And it paid off recently. I remember being out with my daughter and picked her up from school early. Dads do that sometimes, to go have that dad-daughter date. And picked her up early from school. We went out to lunch, and we were right there in our town. And it was one of her favorite restaurants, so we're in there. And I know the owner pretty good, just a great person, loves community. And the owner recognizes and came up and started talking to me. And then I stepped up at the counter to order. And what I did not know is that the owner was having a conversation with my daughter, and she was really engaged in this conversation, like an adult conversation without dad being involved, because we teach her that. And we mandate that, because it's, I tell my kids all the time, if you can just, when you go to school, if you can just look your teacher in the eye and say, "Good morning, how are you doing today?" You will freak them out, because they don't get that enough. And so my daughter's having a conversation behind me with the owner of the restaurant. And I don't know what they're talking about, but she's very engaged. And so I placed the order, and then we go outside, we find seating, because it's a nice sunny day. And so we're sitting outside. And then I walked back in to get my drink. And the owner came up to me, and the owner said, "Hey, how old is your daughter?" And I said, "She's 13. He looked at me and said, "You tell her when she turns 16, she's got a job here with me, because I want young people like that." And he recognized that she was able to look him in the eye and have an adult conversation. So I encourage parents to really impress that on their kids today, because it's a lost art of communication. Put them in situations, when we're at the store and they want something, and we tell them, hey, you go up and you do that transaction with that person at the store. You look them in the eye and you talk to them, engage with them, because that is that one thing that's going to push them beyond their comfort zone, but it's going to push them ahead of the competition. I tell my son, when you get a job, all you have to do in today's society is look somebody in the eye and say, yes, sir, no, sir, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, thank you for shopping with us today. And I said, if you can do that, they'll be training you for management in 3 months. So that's how important communication is. And teach that to your young people. I'm telling you, you will not be disappointed. Reward them, let them know they're doing a good job when you see them having that adult conversation. Drag it out of them, because this is what this world needs, more communication from our young people.
So today, I wanted to show you some great and pretty simple apps that you can use on your phone. Again, I have an iPhone, which is a little bit different than obviously an Android, but I think you can get both of these apps that I have on both, again, Apple and iPhone. But I want to show you 3 quick apps that I use. One's for productivity and for office use specifically. One is for just getting into the outdoors. Great simple app that you can use that has a free version and also a paid version, and then also a free game, one of my favorite games. I played that game for hours on airplanes. And again, there's a hidden feature that I want to show you just on Man 360 for today. So first I want to show you one of the productivity apps. If you look on my phone here, is Genius Scan. So if you open up Genius Scan, the great thing about this app is that it's very, very simple, very straightforward. You can see that I have some other receipts in here that I've saved. I wanted to show you, I have this receipt right now that I use from Sprouts, so one of our trips over to Sprouts. So what I do is I go to the lower left-hand corner of the phone, click the plus button, and I can scan this receipt. It goes around the edges. You have to wait until you see the flash. The great thing about this app too, and I've tried a few of these different receipt collecting apps, is that it's very, very clear because it uses the flash of the phone to be able to take a picture of the receipt. So you'll see on here, it has the date that you can change, or you want to rename it in some way. You can add a tag. You can actually add pages. So if you just want to go into, I just took this picture. If I wanted to add another receipt, I would just go down to the left-hand corner. It says add pages. I would click that button right there, say add from camera. And I can go back down here. If I have a different receipt, hold it there, it outlines it, and we'll take another picture. And then the cool thing is this really cool thing too. So if you go to the lower right-hand corner, you'll see where it says export. If you click on that, you can either email it, you can sign it, you can fax it, you can send it to Dropbox or other file systems or things on your phones or that are in the cloud. You can do, there's all kinds of ways. You can send it to a Google Drive if you're using an Android phone. And I know Android, you can do Dropbox as well, but they do have the Google Drive option. And then you can click email, which I always email these to my assistant. I hit 2, type their name in, and you can see on here as well that it's already been attached to the phone. And again, super simple app, just a great, simple productivity app. And again, something that can make your time more effective in your time again, and not making sure that you don't lose receipts. I know many of you, if you have assistants or people that you turn your receipts into, they're like, where's this receipt from? Immediately when you get done eating or you go buy something at the store, you just set the receipt down, scan it, and you have it in your phone. The next app I want to share with you is AllTrails. So you can see this icon logo that says AllTrails here in the middle. You just open that up. Yolanda and I love using AllTrails because we are in a lot of different states, a lot of different areas. Right now we're in Florida, but we've been we live in Colorado. We've been to the West Coast. We've been to down in the central part of the country and to the east. And sometimes we're like, hey, we just want to go on a hike. If we have our electric bikes or I have my mountain bike, we want to get out. And you can see the real nice thing too in this app, if you look, we have nearby, kid-friendly, dog-friendly parks, lakes, among trees. I'm going to hit lakes here. And this will show you, again, around Largo here, Walsingham Park Trail. We've got the Largo Nature Preserve Loop. Again, just some of these areas around here. Now you can click on and you can see for this Largo Nature Preserve Loop, these are pictures that people have loaded themselves of the loop area. If you click on the map that's inset with the picture, You can see that it gives you a loop and actually how people have gone. Along this line at the bottom, about maybe 2/3 of the way down, if you scrub on this line, you can see it actually follows this blue dot around the hiking area or the walking area. And the nice thing too is you can see the distance about how far it's going to be when you're at the lake. So if you start at this parking area and you go over to the lake, you'll see the distance there. You can see the elevation gain, the grade, all those other kind of things in there too. This works really well too if you're in a mountainous area, or specifically if you're riding your mountain bike and you're like, I want to do a really good workout at the beginning of my ride, and maybe I want to be a little more easy at the end, or maybe you want to be a little easier at the beginning and then you want to work up into a more aggressive ride. You can see on there as well that you're like, maybe I want to go the opposite direction. I want to come around to the right and then go to the left. Obviously, we're here in Florida, so we're at sea level. It's not really going to be a lot of elevation, but that's really great. You can also do, and you can save these as well. So you can save them in the different file folders in here. You can save them to a list. And again, I like this too. I'm not going to go real deep into this app just to show you what it is. There are so many different categories and things that you can do with this app. Again, it can be used all over in a lot of different capacities. So the last one I want to show you is one of my favorites, is my favorite game called Block Blast. So you can see on my phone here, it's Block Blast with an exclamation point. They did do a new updated game that's also called Block Blast, but it has a little bit longer name, and it doesn't have the secret game that you can also download that's inside the game itself. So if you open Block Blast here, I will show you quickly as this loads up. There's two different modes. There's Adventure and Classic. Classic mode, it just starts with a big square, and you basically just dump these tiles in, and you're trying to erase and get rid of these tiles. You can see your score up there. You can see my score of 84,356. If you can beat that score, post it either on our Instagram or our Facebook page. I will send you a special gift. I may send you one of our awesome Enjoy Life Consider Eternity shirts or hoodies. We'll just see. But yeah, if you want to let me know if you can beat that score. If you go up here and you open the Settings tab, if you go down about six lines down, it says More Games. If you open that and you press Start, this is a hidden game that unless you go to this specific part of the game that you won't be able to know it's there. And again, this is purely just a slider game. Again, this is a lot of fun. So you're kind of strategizing about where and how you can drop these tiles. You can see at the very, very bottom, that blue line, it shows you where the next hole is coming for the game. And again, this is just a great, great game, great little time waster, so to speak. I think sometimes we just need to unplug sometimes. And again, this app specifically is free, but it does have ads. As you can see at the bottom, there's some ads there. If you play it in airplane mode, then the ads don't pop up. So if you want to just play it without having the ads pop up, it does that. The All Trails app is $35.99 a year. And then with the All Trails app, the one thing you can do too is the free one does great, but you can't download maps onto your phone. You can only view maps, which is pretty okay. If you're not going to be in cell signal or cell reach with your phone, you may want to purchase the paid one, because then you can download your maps, and then it will use your GPS for your location and not a cell signal, which is really nice. And then the third one, the Genius Scan, I'll just give you the full year prices. For the Plus is $9.99 a year, which is the one I have, and then the $39.99 is for a year for the Ultra. What that gives you is an ability to back up your files, saves them on, again, in the cloud, so you can go back and find those files. But the nice thing too is I have the plain one, the Plus, works great. Again, if you're going to be getting those receipts off of your phone each month for your assistant or for yourself, again, those files combine into one PDF, so you can attach those and just email them, which is so great. So again, these are just 3 simple apps that I have on my phone. Hopefully you could see some of these things here. Maybe it's interesting to you. If you wanted to share maybe an app that you love or something that's on your phone for in the productivity, having fun in the outdoors, or for games, you can share those on our Instagram or our Facebook page. And again, I hope that you just understand that these phones are great. They have great productivity things. They have a lot of things they can do for us. But again, in productivity, getting outside, or games, hope this helped you to be able to see there are some options out there for you. Yolanda and I are here in Utah for a few days, and we wanted to check out a little less known part of Zion National Park called Kolob Canyon. So we're here, we're going to go into the park and do a little bit of a hike. There's a scenic overlook, and you'll also be able to see me walking up to this most amazing part of Utah. just finished the Riverside Walk Trail here in Zion, and absolutely stunning. We're going to take our turnaround and get back where we came from. So it's about a mile in and a mile out. Fairly well traveled. There's a lot of people on the trail, but really, really beautiful. If you just stop and pause and kind of stop by the river, take some pictures of the mountains. There's a lot of alpenglow right now, which is when the sun hits the mountain at the end of the day. So we're going to be able to see a lot of that when we're walking back out. So let's go check it out.
Brian Morris has been presenting the gospel in exciting and creative ways for over 25 years. Host of Man 360 and the author of Holy Crap, Finding God's Presence in Your Pain, Brian's mission is to help men find the joy of God even in the heaviest of life's circumstances. You can have Brian Morris speak at your next men's event by contacting us at man360.tv/contact. We look forward to seeing you soon.
Let's do our 360-degree review of today's program. Kevin Burke is someone God is using because he saw a need and stepped in to fill it. His program Lit 86 is a great example for all of us to think creatively about how we can use media, and yes, even explosives like tannerite, to get people's attention and to help them look inside at what might be holding them back from wholeness in Christ. Kevin and his wife Christy understand kingdom work and have invested their time and money to help people take one step closer to Jesus through their nonprofit, Choose Different Media. I hope you're inspired to ask God what you can do to advance the gospel of Christ. It doesn't have to be through owning a nonprofit or producing a program like Lit 86 or even a show like Man 360. It's about asking the Holy Spirit to use you to move the gospel forward in your world. Adonis gave us another great dad moment segment to encourage you to help your kids become good communicators. He has years of experience, not only as a motivational speaker, but also as a dad and someone who cares deeply about this younger generation. Thanks to Adonis for sharing his wisdom with us today. Block Blast, Genius Scan, and All Trails are just 3 simple, free apps you can use if you want to relax with a quick pick-me-up game, keep track of your receipts while traveling, or find a good trail to explore outdoors. And Zion National Park, what a grand adventure exploring just a couple of trails in that beautiful part of the U.S. Utah has some amazing national parks, and I encourage you to get out there and explore. The great thing about Zion is that there are trails for all skill levels and more than enough to keep you busy for days. For information about all the topics we shared today, you can go right now to man360.tv and click on the Additional Content tab. Thanks for being with us today. Man 360 exists for men to be complete in every way through Christ, mentally, physically, and spiritually. Make sure to connect with us on our website, Facebook, or Instagram, and we'll see you next week, right here on Man 360.